When we talk about goals, I got to tell you the story because it's one of those things that, how did this happen to me? I was 6'2", didn't play a lick of basketball. And all of a sudden, my friends came up to me. I said, Victor, I think you should be a basketball player. We're starting a team at the YMCA. I think you should play. Well, why should I play? I said, well, because you're tall. That was the only qualification. We're going to put you in the center, you're tall. And I'm like, no. But then he started doing that wife thing again. But no, I think you'd be good at it. Oh, how many of us have heard that? I think you'd be good at it. And then little by little they start pumping up that ego. No, I think you'd be really good at it. Yeah, I think nobody'd be able to handle you, man. And you're like, the head's getting big. Next thing you know, okay, I'll play. So I joined this team having no experience in basketball, really. I was a baseball guy. Before Michael Jordan, there was a guy named David Thompson, the Skywalker. Does anybody remember him? It was very unfortunate for David Thompson because 2 years in the NBA with the Denver Nuggets, he started using drugs, went to jail. His life just went like that. But he was pre-Michael Jordan. They used to take pictures in Sports Illustrated, and when they showed him dunking, it really looked like he was walking on air. And he was called the Skywalker. Well, anyway, back to my YMCA story, because this makes sense. All of a sudden, I hear about the first team we're playing, and everybody keeps talking about the Skywalker. I'm like, who's the Skywalker? And so we finally get to the gym that big day, my first game. Got the big pimpin' uniform, you know, with the numbers and name on the back, you know, and a head that big, you know what I mean? So we get to the gym, and I finally see the Skywalker. He was like right here. This guy was just a runt, Spud Webb, man. He was Spud Webb. I mean, he was just short, real short. So I figured, this guy will take care of. And I remember on one play, I went up for the ball, like on a rebound, thought I had it, and all of a sudden I see another pair of arms comes over me. He grabs the ball too. We both go to the floor, and when I looked over, it was the Skywalker. I'm thinking, okay. I said, where did he come from? So then now we have to do a jump ball. For those of you who are not familiar with basketball, you know, you toss a ball in the air, two guys go at it, right? So anyway, let me just step back a little bit, because those of you who are from the hood know that the way we watch a basketball game is totally different than the ones I watched in, let's say, Minnesota, when I lived there for a few years. In Minnesota, people are very quiet. You know, they just kind of watch the game and enjoy the game. Oh, no, not Cabrini Green. No. It is noise. Everybody's rooting for their team, and people are not afraid to let you know what they think. So we're going to do this jump ball. The ball goes up. We both go up. He keeps going up. And all I remember is I saw his belly button. You know, I mean, it's like, and then for like, I'm going to say it was like 30 milliseconds, because it was less than a second. But when you know you've just gone through an embarrassing moment, it's like that time just stretches, and you're just waiting for the eruption. You know, like, it's like, oh, here it comes. The bleachers go mad, and everyone's like, ah, you know. Okay, I'm sharing too much. That's my pain, okay? But within 10 minutes, I popped my ankle in the game. And now I got to go home because I can't wait for the rest of the game. So in Cabrini Green, we have the subways. Now, I can't stay in that subway. It's what they call an A and B station. A and B train stop there, and I can't stay there because it's not a safe place to be at night. So what happens? Now, here's my dilemma. If an A train comes, because I got to get off that platform, it puts me in a Caucasian white neighborhood where they have a gang that hangs out underneath the train tracks in front of a laundromat. If they put me in the B, here's my house, here's the A station, here's the B station. If I go to the B station, it's a Puerto Rican neighborhood. But see, most people say, well, you should be safe. Yeah, right. Yeah, you haven't been to our hood. They don't discriminate. They really don't. So I'm thinking, okay, I got a better chance in my neighborhood. So, I hear the train roaring, and you know what I'm waiting for. I'm going B, come on, B, come on, come on, B, come on, B, come on, B, and it's A. It's an A. I get on the train. Now I start going into this whole dream world about, they can't be there. This can't be going this bad. Sure enough, I finally get there. In Chicago, if you come out the turnstile, once you're out, you're out. And the only way you can see across the street where they hang out is to come out of the turnstile. I come out of the turnstile, and I got my backpack with me. I got a limp. and my backpack, and I come around the corner, and I'm doing this. I look around, I'm like, I'm doing that. Because there are like 6 of them right there. And believe it or not, they were called Gaylords. I do not make that up. And there was nothing happy about them, if you know what I mean. So, all of a sudden, I said, okay, I'm just going to walk. They're across the street. I'm just going to walk, and maybe they just won't notice me. I become invisible, So, I start walking, and I'm walking. I'm just keeping my head down. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, when you walk like this in your neighborhood, it's called a pimp. And in a pimp, excuse me, I got to wait. When you have a pimp, it basically means you're a rough dude. To put it in common vernacular terms, I had a swagger. Okay? So I had this swagger, but I'm going, no, it's not a swagger. It's not a swagger. This is what they call a fundamental attribution error. Okay? Psychologists in the house? You will learn what a fundamental attribution error is. To put it in college terms so you will really understand it. You walk into a room, and just before you walked in, somebody farted. You're in that room, and then this gorgeous girl, let's say, walks in, and she looks at you like, you pig. You're like, but no, I didn't, it was like that when I got here. Okay, it was like that. That's called the fundamental attribution error. Okay? The pimping was a fundamental attribution error. I'm not pimping, I'm not bad. Sissy, leave me alone. I just got my butt kicked by the Skywalker, leave me alone. And so it's funny. You ever watch the Discovery Channel? Something like this, because I'm walking and they see me, they start walking. As the lion approaches the gazelle. There's a certain moment in time when you just bolt. Do you know what I mean? You're kind of measuring, and then they're calling me over. And when they're calling me over, I'm acting like this wonderful lady right here. Because I'm not answering. But I'm giving all kinds of hand signals like, you talking to me? And then I do this one. Like they care that I got to go home. You know what I mean? Mama. And I had that typical Puerto Rican mother. But anyway, to end the story, I bolted, they bolted, I ran through the gangways, through the alleys, I jumped fences. I get home, I jump into the living room where my mother's at. How'd it go? It went okay, Ma. Because if you have a Puerto Rican mother, and she thinks it's violent out there, you're not going out for 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe a year. You know what I mean? What happened? Oh, just a bad day on the court, that's all. Now, why this long story? Besides the fact that I feel like I need to kind of, get over the Skywalker thing and just, you're helping me. It's therapy. It's closure. All right? But why did I tell you this story? Because how did I get into this situation? You let your ego. When people say, I think you'd be good at that, it doesn't make it so. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make it so. But for some reason, when somebody tells us something, we stop listening to ourselves. Do you get that? You got to listen to yourself. What is it that you want to do? Stop listening to other people.